Yep. I don't know how much battery I'm going to have here. I'll try to do this. I tried to do this outside, but it just wasn't working. So keep in mind that I'll go natural whenever I can. But for today, we'll go back to the 18th of May, and the morning of the 18th of May, when I woke up in my where I had been normally for the previous 4 or 5 nights in my space in my sleeping bag between the currently closed for remodeling Ballard Library and the Ballard Service Center. I had been having trouble with my legs again, and when I got up and tried to move, my task when I got awake, I had to be to the doctor at 8:45 check-in for my normal 45th Street clinic, a monthly powwow with my good friend and wonderful doctor, John Olson. So I had to roll up my sleeping bag and walk it up 2 blocks, put it in the bushes by St. Luke's, and then just walk back down to the bus stop, which was an equal distance and then the same distance again. Maybe a total of a quarter of a mile altogether. When I started moving, my legs were bad. They were the worst. My right leg was worse than it was before I had the surgery a year ago, and my left leg was starting to feel like the right leg had before the other surgery. So I was supposed to be fasting, because I had to draw some blood, because blood work is important. One of my first thoughts was, I'm sorry, Dr. Olson, but I'm not fasting this morning. I went up to St. Luke's, got myself up there, got my sleeping bag out in the bushes where it stays during the day, and went down. St. Luke's is open at 7 a.m. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, for breakfast type thing for anyone. And I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat and get some strength to get to the doctor. So I went down there, had a couple cups of coffee and oatmeal and a piece of toast, and it just wasn't happening. It was not happening. So, being as my sleeping bag was in the bushes, and at that point I'm thinking, I might not be back here for a few days or longer. I went outside and approached a guy who has kind of installed himself as the the Abbie Hoffman, the Socrates, the Williams Jennings Bryan, the Mahatma Gandhi of the homeless people, and also the people the lovely women who volunteer and put the breakfast on at St. Luke's. If you can say wrapped around your finger, I think that's where this guy has got everybody. And I will admit, at that point, I'm a skeptic, but I had bought into it. I'm not going to disclaimer that. I had bought into this guy. Bought is rotten. No, cotton is rotten. I had bought into this guy and his spiel. And he was actually the person who had pointed out the sleeping bag in St. Luke's 6 days previous, and said, if you need a bag, you can have that one because it's been there for a month, and the person never came back. So I went to him, and he was pontificating with somebody about some stuff, and I interrupted after a minute or two of standing there in obvious agony and not being acknowledged. I interrupted. I said, "Can I excuse you for a moment? I need to talk to you." Excuse me. And walked over to me and I said, "Dude, I'm thinking I might be going to the hospital and I need to get my sleeping bag from the bushes over here back in there. Can you do that for me?" He looked at me and said, "Well, do it yourself." I said, "Man, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm really weak. I need someone to do that for me. Can you do that?" He said, "Well, you got it out of there, okay?" At this point, in my hunkered down position, I looked at him and I gave him, if whatever is a 1, and whatever is a 10, I gave him the 15 count, whatever. And I turned around and I said, "What?" Again, I got to go. At that point, I didn't care if I ever saw that sleeping bag again, and I still don't, because it's probably still there for all I know, or might not be. And I turned and started to head back in a southerly direction down towards the bus stop. And as I'm walking away, he said, "Bobby, it's all in your mind." Believe it or not, that was not the stupidest thing that I heard in the next 20 seconds. As I was doubled over and attempting to start to go southerly, a big guy, younger than me maybe, reminding me of my grandfather, big German-looking man with a crew cut, saddled up alongside me and he said, "Boy, hurting pretty bad, aren't you?" I said, Yeah, it's really painful." I thought he was offering some whatever form of support he was able to offer, and he said to me, he said, "Well, do you know where I can get 20? If you get, I'll give you 40, and if you give me 20, you can have the other 20 and get yourself well." And at that point, what I said next to him as I cocked my head up like this was true. I said, "And excuse me, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about." And I put my head back down, and I could have thrown my arms up at that point. Yeah, I can. If I could have thrown my arms up at that point, I would have, but I couldn't. So I kind of and continued on down towards the bus stop. And I'll stop there for now because that's really I hate the word closure. That encompasses the story I wanted to tell right now, and I want to get one of these up online so that you guys can have some confidence that I'll be around and that you'll see more of these. So until next time, Laptop Bob, KF in order, whatever you want to call me, just don't call me late to dinner. Signing out. When the dream came